हेलो। बहुत सारे बच्चों की इस वक्त टर्म एग्जाम्स आने वाली है एंड वन ऑफ द टॉपिक्स फ्रॉम ग्रामर इज रिपोर्टेड स्पीच और डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच. So I have made a video on explanation of that direct and indirect speech. एक डिटेल टॉपिक है, थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट टॉपिक है और काफ़ी सारा है इसके अंदर समझने के लिए. तो मैंने सारा कुछ एक वीडियो में नहीं डाल दिया है. वी हैव ऑलमोस्ट 3 to 4 पार्ट्स कमिंग अप. टुडेज पार्ट, लेट अस सी व्हाट फर्स्ट पार्ट जो हमें डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट में स्पीच में सीखना है. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच? आई एम श्योर दैट यू ऑल नो वेरी वेल कि क्या है ये, बट फिर भी लेट अस सी एन एक्सप्लेनेशन, एन एग्जाम्पल. मान लीजिए एक लड़का है, हम उसको नाम देते हैं अनमोल, और अनमोल की दीदी है सुप्रिया. अनमोल इज अ 7th स्टैंडर्ड स्टूडेंट. वो उसकी स्कूल में से उसे कुछ प्रोजेक्ट वर्क दिया था. सो अनमोल आस्क्ड सुप्रिया टू हेल्प एंड बोथ ऑफ देम फिनिश्ड अ ब्यूटीफुल प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, सुप्रिया ने भी बहुत मेहनत करी और दोनों ने मिलकर एक बहुत अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट बनाया. नेक्स्ट डे अनमोल अपना प्रोजेक्ट लेके स्कूल में जाता है. तो स्कूल में उससे मैम कहते हैं, द टीचर सेड, अनमोल यू हैव डन अ ग्रेट जॉब, योर प्रोजेक्ट इज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. अनमोल का फ्रेंड है, वो उससे कहता है, वाओ, हु हेल्प्ड यू मेड दिस? आई एम श्योर यू हैव नॉट मेड दिस. तूने अकेले ने नहीं बनाया. अनमोल रिप्लाइड, यस, माय दीदी सुप्रिया हेल्प मी टू मेक दिस. हिज फ्रेंड सेड, कैन यू हेल्प मी ऑल्सो टू मेक अ प्रोजेक्ट? Anmol said, okay, come to my home and I will help you also to make a project. अब ये बातचीत हुई. अब अनमोल घर पे आता है और फिर उसकी दीदी उससे पूछती है कि अनमोल, स्कूल में तुम्हारी मैम ने क्या कहा? सो अनमोल ने अपनी दीदी को बताया, माई टीचर सेड दैट माई प्रोजेक्ट वॉज वेरी नाइस, वेरी ब्यूटिफुल. My friend also said that I have not made this project by myself. I told him that you have helped me make this project. My friend said, asked, can I also come and help? Can I also come and make a project at your home? And I told him that he can come and make the project at home. ओके, तो ये जो भी बातचीत अनमोल ने अपने टीचर के साथ और अपने दोस्त के साथ करी थी, वो घर पे आके उसने अपनी दीदी को बताया. सो वन थिंग यू नोटिस्ड इज, फर्स्ट थिंग, सबसे पहली बात कि इसमें क्या चेंज हो जाता है. जब अनमोल स्कूल में था तो जो भी बात हुई वो सामने सामने हुई. अब जब वो घर आता है तो अपनी दीदी को बताता है, और जब वो दीदी को बता रहा है तब वो जो बातचीत उसकी स्कूल में हुई वो हो चुकी है, वो पास्ट टेंस है, वो खत्म हो गया है. तो जब भी वो अपनी दीदी को बताएगा तो उसमें वो टेंसेस चेंज करेगा, राइट? ही विल चेंज द टेंस, क्योंकि जो बातचीत थी वो पास्ट में हो चुकी है. तो अब वो प्रेजेंट टेंस में बात नहीं करेगा. ही विल नॉट से योर प्रोजेक्ट इज वेरी गुड ब्यूटीफुल, ही विल से माय टीचर सेड माय प्रोजेक्ट वाज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, राइट? सो वी हैव चेंज्ड टेंसेस एंड देन देयर आर सो मेनी अदर थिंग्स दैट आर चेंज्ड. ओके, नाउ लेट्स सी वन बाय वन कि हमें जब आप एग्जाम में या जब आप एक्सरसाइजेस करते हो और आपको सेंटेंस या पैराग्राफ्स दिया जाता है, पैसेज, व्हाट थिंग्स स्टेप बाय स्टेप आपको चेंजेस करने हैं. एकदम से हड़बड़ करके ये नहीं. एवरीथिंग इज प्रॉपर स्टेप्स, फॉलो दैट एंड चेंज एवरीथिंग वन बाय वन and you can do a good job in this chapter. Direct and indirect speech. This is the part 1 of the video. What is direct and indirect speech? It is also known as reported speech. So some children in your schools it will be direct and indirect, some places it will be called reported speech, and both the things are same. दोनों एक जैसी चीज है. We may report the words of a speaker in 2 ways. तो जब आपसे कोई बात करनी है, जब किसी के साथ आप बात करते हो, तो आप बोले हुए शब्दों को 2 तरीकों से बता सकते हो. We may quote his actual words. Okay, so we may quote the actual words. He said, I am not going to come. So actual words जो उसने बोले हैं. This is called direct speech. We may report what he said without quoting his exact words. कभी कभी हम उन्हीं के शब्दों को नहीं दोहराते, हम अपने शब्दों में उसी बात को, बस बात हम क्लियरली बता देते कि हाँ ये बात हुई थी, लेकिन शब्द हम वही के वही यूज नहीं कर रहे. That is called reported speech or indirect speech. Let's see some examples. And this example, इस example के साथ हम ये भी देखेंगे कि इसमें हमको step by step क्या क्या change करना है. He said, I have passed the examination today. This is direct. He said that he had passed the examination that day. This is in indirect or reported speech. So how many changes did we make? What are the changes did we make in this sentence? Let's see one by one. Remove the inverted commas. Not only the inverted commas, we have also removed, see, when we write in the indirect speech, we have removed this comma. We have removed this inverted speeches की जो comma है उसको हमने सबसे पहले remove किया. So whenever you get a question, even if it is a tough one, the first thing this, don't get panicked, and first thing you remove the commas. Okay, so start with the commas. Then use the conjunction that. He said that. See, at least till here you can 100% get it right. No chance of making a mistake. He said, she said, या जो नाम है in case if there is a name या कोई दूसरा pronoun है, we said, the teacher said, whatever it may be, you can put that and you can add the conjunction that. Remove the commas and add the conjunction that. Now the pronoun I is changed to he. See here in this sentence it is I, and here we have changed it to he. So for this there are rules. There will be I will share with you one table, and you just need to memorize that. Yes, this has to be memorized. इसको learn करना पड़ेगा. जैसे आप maths में formulas करते हैं वैसे learn करना पड़ेगा. Then the verb have is changed to had. यहाँ पे एक verb है have, possessive verb है ये, and उसको हमने past tense had में change कर दिया है. So this is one thing that has changed. Okay. Then the fifth thing is the time word today is changed to that day. Here we have a time word today. And what have we changed that to? That day. We are not keeping the same thing, right? So these are the few changes that we have made. Further, suppose if it was a question of exclamation mark or a question mark, then we will also need to change certain punctuations again. Okay, वो सब punctuations में याद रखना है. जो ये first number था, सबसे पहले हमें punctuations को हटाना है, फिर conjunction that को use करना है, pronouns को change करना है, the verbs को change करना है, pronouns के बाद verbs को change करना है, and then the time words या place verbs will be there, उनको change करना है. So if you follow these 5 steps one by one, you remember and do, तो आप गलतियां नहीं करोगे, right? So when you get a question, go through all the question sentence में से जाकर उसे underline कर लीजिए pronoun, verb, time या place चीजें, and then step by step you can make changes. Okay. Now there are rules. Okay, I always tell my students that maths and grammar are same. Maths में भी आपको कुछ एक rules रटने पड़ते हैं, and in grammar also you need to do that. So this is one of the chapters which you cannot avoid learning some things. कुछ ना कुछ चीजें आपको एकदम से memorize ही करनी पड़ेंगी. For example, now this is the first rule: simple present becomes simple past. He said, I am unwell. लेट्स फॉलो द सेम रूल. पहले हमने कॉमास हटा दिए, यहाँ पे कॉमास नहीं है, फिर हमने दैट लगा दिया, आई का हमने ही बना दिया, बट यहाँ पे हमें क्या लिखना है? एम इज अ सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस वर्ड एंड इट बिकम्स वाज. दिस ऑल्सो सेंटेंस आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गो टू होल थिंग. अभी हम यही रूल पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं. इज टर्न टू was. Then walk is turned to walked. Okay, so there are action words that changed. Then is changed to was. Am is also changed to was. If it was are, sorry, so it will be changing to, अगर यहाँ पे are होता तो we will change it to this is a funny pen, मुझे आदत नहीं है. Anyway, we will change it to where. Okay, just understand this. Don't look at my handwriting on this board, but just look at this. Are will change to where. That's the first rule. So let's go through again. Simple present will become simple past. Next rule, present continuous changes to past continuous. If it is in present continuous, I am working is in present continuous, and we will change it to was working. Of course, बाकी के सारे हम changes करेंगे ही, but right now, see only this one, present continuous changes to past continuous. Are playing were playing. Is walking, was walking. So present continuous will change to past continuous. Present perfect changes to past perfect. I have completed changes to had completed. Has licked, have या has होता है, had licked. In past it is the same had. Has worked, and here it will be had worked. Okay, so keeping again in mind all the other changes like the removing all the inverted commas and making that putting here or that and some other changes here around, but make sure to understand this is present perfect changes to past perfect. Present perfect continuous changes to past perfect continuous. Okay. I have been working will change to had been working. बाकी पूरा sentences जो pronouns change करना है late night या वो change करना है that we need to change. Has been chasing, had been chasing. Sorry. Has been learning, had been learning. So we'll have this different changes of present perfect continuous to past perfect continuous. That was the four sentences mostly when if the sentence is in present tense. जब हम direct में बोलते हैं तो most of the time it is in present and when we change it goes into past tense. Sometimes जो आपने direct में बोला है वो भी past tense में होता है. तो फिर how will it change? जो खुद ही past में है उसको हम कैसे change करेंगे? Simple past tense will go to past perfect. Okay. I bought. Bought is a simple past verb. And it will change to had bought. That is past perfect. Licked. It's a action verb जो V1 form में है, simple past में है. Had licked. Okay. It will go to past perfect. Anu wrote the letter. Wrote. Had written. Okay. Had plus V3 form. That is the past perfect. So simple past will change to past perfect. Past continuous. It will go to past perfect continuous. It was raining. Was raining is past continuous. Had been raining. That is past perfect continuous. Was sleeping. Had been sleeping. Was dancing. Had been dancing. Okay, next. Past perfect remains the same. There is no change in the reported or the indirect speech. So see the verb, if it is had rained, it is V3 form plus had. That's past perfect. So it will not change at all in the reported speech. हमें उसमें कोई changes नहीं करने हैं. He said it had rained in the morning. He said that the normal changes of removing the comma and putting in that. It had rained in the morning. Okay, no change in the tenses. There might be pronoun changes and time and place change. Please remember that. Okay, ये नहीं है कि कुछ भी नहीं change करना है. Pronouns को कर सकते हैं. Time या place वाला कोई sentence हो तो उसे कर सकते हैं. But tenses को नहीं change करना है. बस इसमें जो 5 step मैंने बताया उसमें जो verb change था tenses वो नहीं करना है. Mother said I had cleaned. Mother said that she had cleaned. See here, I को तो हमने she में बदल दिया है, वो तो change किया है. But had cleaned, the tense, the verb is the same. That is the only thing same रखना है. बाकी जो 4 steps है, 5 steps बताए थे मैंने उसमें जो सिर्फ verb वाला नहीं change करना है इसमें. Grandfather said Anu had one. Grandfather said that Anu had one. Had one is same. Okay. So only this happens when it is in past perfect. That means had plus V3 form of the verb. तब हमें उसमें कोई changes नहीं करना है. Past perfect continuous also remains the same. There is no change in the reported or the indirect speech. When the sentence is in past perfect continuous, again the same rule. You're not going to say change the tense. आई एम गोइंग टू रिपीट अगेन. मैं वापस रिपीट कर रही हूँ. 5 स्टेप्स है चेंज करने के. उसमें से चौथा स्टेप जो आपको टेंस रिमूव करना है वो सिर्फ आपको नहीं करना है, बाकी सब आपको चेंज करने हैं. सो इट हैड बीन रेनिंग. It had been raining since morning. He said that it had been raining, no changes, since last night. Sorry, there's a mistake. Since morning and since last night nahi hota hai. This is wrong. Typing mistake. Since morning or यहाँ पे morning ही morning होगा. No changes. Mother said I had been cleaning the kitchen. Mother said that she had been cleaning the kitchen. Had been, had been. Pronoun is changed. I to she. Grandfather said Anu had been learning to dance. Grandfather said that Anu had been learning to dance. No changes except for the comma. Here the comma is missing. Okay. Now the whole thing again. Let's go through the whole stuff again. I'm going to share a PDF. I'm sure that most of you are in my WhatsApp groups. So WhatsApp group में I will share the PDF of this whole thing. आपको बाकी सारे sentences नहीं learn करने, लेकिन ये आपको अच्छी तरह से समझ भी लेना है और इसको learn करना है. Okay, let's go through this again. This is the same repetition, nothing changes. I'm just going to repeat the formulas. ये present tense वाला है, ये पूरा का पूरा table है वो present tense में है. Okay, I can't find, sorry. Simple present, simple past. उसमें क्या करोगे आप? जब आप वो फोर्थ वाले या वर्ब चेंज वाले स्टेप पे आओगे तो आपको क्या देखना है? एम इज वॉज है तो वॉज या वेयर में चेंज करना है. दैट मीन्स बेस फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब. अगर इफ यू नो ऑल द फोर फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब्स 5, V1, V2, V3, V4 एंड V5 विच वी डोंट यूज सो मच, V1 को V2 में चेंज करना है. दैट्स ऑल. पास्ट टेंस में चेंज करना है. बेस फॉर्म का जो भी है, कट का, कम, केम, go, went, sing, sang, okay, like that. If there are any action verbs, then you need to change them into past tense. And if there is am, is, was, then you will change into was, yeah, were. Present continuous, past continuous. If there is in the sentence am is are, if it is a present continuous tense, how will you know? Am is are होगा, उसमें plus ing form of verb या तो before होगा, working, going, singing, dancing, ing form. So what will you do? Was या were. Am या is, am and is will go to was, are will change to were, एंड उसके साथ जो वर्ब था ing फॉर्म वो वैसे के वैसे ही रखना है और कुछ नहीं चलना है. So here you, if you have an action verb, you are going to change the form, right? Like come becomes came, go becomes went. But here ing form, since it is ing form, it will remain the same. बस आपको ये am is are को was या were में change करना है. प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट, पास्ट परफेक्ट. यहाँ क्या करना है? हैज और हैव होगा आपके साथ और द पास्ट पार्टिसिपल. गो, वेंट, गॉन. द थर्ड वन, ईट, एट, ईटन, ईटन वाला. ओके, कम, केम, कम, द सेम टन. सो द थर्ड फॉर्म जो V3 फॉर्म है उसके साथ हैज और हैव होता है. दैट इज फॉर प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट. This you need to change to past perfect. So has and had you need to change to had, and the past participle will remain the same. If it is he has gone to the market, you will write he had gone to the market. So has और have के बदले सिर्फ had change कर देना यहाँ पर. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. Here again has and have plus been plus present participle form. Same thing, working, singing, dancing. He has been working since morning. It has been raining. I have been going. So has and have will change to bus had. That's all. Baki been and the V4 form will remain the same. Next, let's go to past tense. What are the changes we'll do in the past tense? Simple past, this will change into past perfect. Past tense के चारों past tense में ही घूमेंगे. Past tense, past perfect. In past tense, what happens? In a sentence, you will have was या were. That you need to change to had. Okay. I was, yeah, okay. You might not get these sentences with was or were. You will get these sentences only with the action word forms. Okay, like I worked hard. Okay, worked hard. That's the past tense. I worked hard. In past perfect, I had worked hard. He went to the market. He had gone to the market. She wrote a letter. She had written a letter. Okay, so simple past will change to past perfect. Had plus past participle form of V3 verb. Past continuous will change to past perfect continuous. In this, you'll have was and were plus present participle, that means ing form of or V4. So was and where had been. Okay. Uh, he was writing a letter. He had been writing a letter. They were playing in the garden. They had been playing in the garden. Past perfect, past perfect, no changes. Okay. In this form, there will be no changes. Again, past perfect continuous, no changes. So in past tense, you need to remember only the simple past and past continuous. Other than that, this next two, there will be no changes. So you can relax. Now, there are some times where you do not make changes to the verb. Again, let's remember that. If the reporting verb is in the present tense, there will be no change in tense. Let's see this. He says. यहाँ पे normally what happens? हम लिखते हैं said. Okay, but यहाँ पे says है. That means what? This is in present tense. So when this reporting verb, ये वाला जब आप said की जगह says है, okay, he has finished his work. He says that he has finished his work. No changes to the verbs are required. Okay, again, pronouns and time and place will change. कहाँ नहीं change करना है, verb नहीं change करना है. He says there was a tiger in the jungle. He says that there was a tiger in the jungle. Okay, so you have just removed the comma here, and in this sentence, जो example sentence है, इसमें कोई भी pronoun नहीं है, कोई भी time word नहीं है, place verb नहीं है, so हमने वो changes नहीं देखे यहाँ. Otherwise, if that is there, that will change, but verb will not change. Was will be was only. When? तो जब भी आप क्वेश्चन पढ़ो तो प्लीज इसको स्किप मत कर देना है ना. नॉर्मली आपको आदत पड़ गई है, ओके ही सेड शी सेड सी सेड, सो यू जस्ट गो एंड लुक एट दिस सेंटेंस, यू फॉरगेट टू सी एट दिस सेंटेंस. Please don't do that mistake. Read it properly. If this is said, you'll change all the five things. If this is says, you will not change the verb. Again, when not to change? If the statement is still relevant or situation is still true. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि जब आप जो बात आपने बोल रहे हैं, आप जब रिपोर्टिंग स्पीच में कर रहे हैं, तो जो बात थी जो बतानी है वो अभी भी इन प्रेजेंट में जब आप बोल रहे हैं तभी भी, पास्ट में जब वो बोली गई थी तभी भी, और अब जब आप प्रेजेंट में उसे बयान कर रहे हैं तभी भी वो रेलिवेंट है, तभी भी वो सही है. ओके, द सिचुएशन हैज नॉट चेंज्ड. So she said, I know my father's phone number. She said that she knows her father's phone number. यहाँ पे पास्ट में भी उसे अपने पापा का नंबर पता था जब ये बात उसने बोली लड़की ने, और अब भी अभी भी उसे नंबर तो डेफिनेटली याद है, वो उसके दिमाग से जाएगा तो नहीं. सो दिस इज स्टिल रेलिवेंट. ओके, नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज, ऐसे वाले सेंटेंसेस कब ज्यादा होते हैं? जब कोई मूवी है, कोई बुक है, जैसे पूछा हाउ इज द बुक, हाउ इज द बुक. Okay, and you will say the movie was good, but in again when you are reporting again you will say the movie was good. You are not going to change that thing. Okay, because the जो चीज अब वो तब पास्ट में अच्छी थी और अब खत्म हो गई है, मतलब अब वो पास्ट टेंस हो गई तो अब अच्छी नहीं है, ऐसा थोड़ी है. द मूवी इज गुड, द मूवी वॉज गुड, उसका क्या मतलब हो जाता है? इज गुड मतलब अभी अच्छी है, वॉज गुड मतलब तब अच्छी थी अब अच्छी नहीं है. ओके, सो एट दिस काइंड ऑफ अ सिचुएशन, जब पास्ट में सही या प्रेजेंट में सही वो चेंज नहीं हो रही सिचुएशन, that time you will not change the verb. Don't get confused. This kind of questions hardly you might get in exam, but you need to know the rule. Again, while stating a universal truth, this is a tricky question जो कई बार एग्जाम्स में आता है, so please be very careful with this. The teacher said leaves produce food for the plant. Leaves produce food for the plant is a universal truth. जो बदलने नहीं वाला scientific fact है, truth है. The earth goes around the planet, sun, the earth rotates on its own axis, the sky is blue, the grass is green. ये सब universal truths है. Okay, they are not going to change. So certain things which are always going to be true, like honesty is a good policy. He said honesty is a good policy. He said that honesty is a good policy. ओके, उसे आपको इज का वॉज नहीं करना है. दैट मीन्स इसका ये मतलब नहीं हो जाएगा कि ऑनेस्टी तब अच्छी थी और अब अच्छी नहीं है. राइट, सो सर्टन थिंग्स आर यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ्स एंड नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज थिंग्स. उसमें आपको वर्ब नहीं चेंज करना है. द टीचर सेड दैट लीव्स प्रोड्यूस फूड फॉर द प्लांट, सो टेंस नहीं चेंज होगा. रिमेंबर अगेन, बोर हो गए हो सुन सुन के, लेकिन ये दिमाग में बिठा लो, सिर्फ में हम टेंस की बात कर रहे हैं. कॉमास तो हटाने ही हैं, और बाकी जो प्रोनाउन या उसमें कोई चेंजेस होगा वो तो करना ही है, सिर्फ आपको टेंसेस नहीं चेंज करनी है। Okay, so that was all for this topic, uh, where we still have some changes, like we still have pronouns, time and place, and there are some other other things like हाँ मैंने slide गलत कर दिया है, sorry, fine, will, दिस इज फ्यूचर टेंस, हमने पास्ट टेंस, परफेक्ट टेंस, प्रेजेंट टेंस दोनों देख लिया। सो व्हाट अबाउट फ्यूचर टेंस? कभी कभी हम जब बात करते हैं तो फ्यूचर में बात करते हैं, व्हाट अबाउट दैट सेंटेंस? विल चेंज टू वुड। He we will come tomorrow. She said that they would come the next day. There is no end here. We will come tomorrow. मैंने वो she said वाला आगे नहीं लगाया, you just understand it. She said that they would come. We have changed to they, and will has changed to would come tomorrow का the next day हो गया. This rule, changing the pronoun and time and place, we'll see in the next slides, in the next video almost. But यहाँ पे will change to would. Remember that. Shall, in case if there is a shall wala, we shall come. So they should come. Okay, shall changes to should, will changes to would, can changes to could. I can walk for 10 kilometers. He said that he could walk for 10 kilometers. I think this is a wrong sentence because ये वो वाले sentences में आ जाता है कि ये relevant है truth. अगर वो अब तब चल सकता था, तो अगर सिचुएशन ऐसी है कि अब वो नहीं चल सकता, तब चल सकता था, तो because this sentence actually means कि he could, at that time he could, but now he cannot. So if you have can or could sentences, please make sure that it is not a universal truth or it is not relevant वाला subject जो मतलब past में भी सही था और अभी भी सही है. In that case you will not change, but generally can changes to could. Must, had to. You must work hard. So he said that I had to work hard. Had to. Please remember, बाकी सारी changes मत देखो यहाँ पे. We'll discuss them later. Must has changed to had to. Must का मतलब होता है करना ही है, और had का मतलब भी होता है, had to का मतलब भी होता है करना ही है. It may rain tonight. He said that it might rain that night. Okay. So tonight is that night. That we'll see later. Again, may changes to might. Then there are some other words like modal auxiliaries जो ought to है, should है. They don't change normally so much and they are not even asked too much. So I'm not making any video about that. But these changes again you can remember. So इस वीडियो में हमने सिर्फ टेंसेस के बारे में देखा है कि टेंसेस कौन सी चेंजेस होती है. हमने अब हमें नेक्स्ट वीडियो में ये चीज़ें देखनी है, प्रोनाउन को कैसे चेंज करना है, टाइम को कैसे चेंज करना है, और प्लेस को कैसे चेंज करना है. दिस इज रिलेटिवली सिंपल, ये ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लमेटिक नहीं है. मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट यू नीड टू पे अटेंशन टू इज द वर्ब्स. जो आज हमने टेंसेस का देखा है, द वर्ब्स आर द most important things. So make sure that you follow all the first 5 steps. Remove the commas. Second, add the conjunction that. In certain cases where again in the third part we'll see जहाँ पे question है या exclamation mark है, तो वहाँ that के बदले हम कुछ और वो भी add कर सकते हैं. That also we'll see again. But generally we say that. Then we change the pronouns because pronoun कभी कभी most of the time subject में आ जाता है. अगर subject में नहीं आया है तो no problem. Then you skip to the next part. Next part is change the verbs. And then last you can see through the time words, yeah, place words and change those. Okay, so if you follow these 5 steps, remember that 5 properly and do it, तो very less chances of you making mistakes. और कोई चीज़ में हम भूल गए, अरे हमने ये चेंज कर दिया, वो तो रह ही गया, ये वाला वर्ड करना था, ये नहीं किया. So just go step by step systematically and